y'all. We've been waiting for this all day. We've been moving the time back, but it's for a good cause. 2, 4, 6. At least we're going by, good divisible by twos. I mean, with even numbers. But I got my first guest in the house again. It's I don't know how many years later, probably 3 years later, I think 4 years. Yeah, something like that, 3 or 4 years, and it was in my basement. Now, unlike the Jeffersons, we moved on up.
That's right.
we got, right,
We're
and
all moving on up.
oh heck yeah, and now you're mayor. Got Mayor Suttle in the house. Mayor, I'm glad to have you
Oh,
here.
what a pleasure. What a pleasure.
So how's life treating you? Cause I know you was.
I am the world's eternal optimist. I am a happy camper every day. It could be snowing sideways out there and 60-mile-an-hour winds, and I'd still be a happy camper.
Well, man. Well, we want to make sure that you have longevity. I got some perfect push-ups in there.
Is that right?
Yes, we can get it. We can get it in afterwards.
I probably need it. I'm down about 8-9 pounds. We need to get down to a total of 15. So I got 5 to 6 more to go.
Okay. So now what you doing?
Got to looking.
Yeah, we get you all. We'll make sure everybody can do
Okay,
it.
there we go. You got it.
Now, everybody want to talk politics, man, but sometimes we gotta talk health too.
That's right.
So I mean, so you feeling good?
Feeling good. And we are exercising 3 to 4 times a week
Okay.
on a treadmill and weights, and we're watching our diet, and we're just trying to get a good night's sleep, and which I pretty easy at doing, always have been.
Okay.
As soon as the head hits the pillow, we're out
Right.
till the dog wakes me up. So,
Well, you've been in politics for what now? 4 years?
well, no, that's 8 years. So
It's
4
been that
years
long?
on 4 years on the city council.
right, that's
and
right.
then 4 years here in the mayor's chair.
What's the difference between the first 4 years as a city councilman and the last 4 years as the chief executive
Well,
officer of the city of Omaha?
let me use a metaphor. Johnny Majors was a longtime coach for the Tennessee Volunteers years and years ago, had a great statement.
Hmm.
The further you get up the flagpole, the harder the wind blows.
Yeah, I guess it is blowing hard, huh? But you tough though.
Well, I am tough.
I mean, your background's from what, architecture?
Engineering,
Yep.
yeah. But
Yep.
my mother was a strong person and
Mhm.
way ahead of her time. She was a businesswoman in a man's world, and so she had to outdo all the men.
Right.
And so she was a very strong-willed woman, and I am the spitting image of her.
You from Omaha,
West Virginia.
West Virginia? Now, how long you been in this territory?
Well, 42 years.
Hey, that's almost older than I am. Almost. You've been here a long time, man.
I've been here a long time.
So, what actually brought you from West Virginia to Nebraska?
Well, West Virginia is a beautiful state, but the opportunities for me as an engineer were not there. So I left the state, went to Wichita for a year and a half working for the city,
Right.
and then Albuquerque, worked down there for the Council of Governments, and then came up here to work with HDR.
Right. So infrastructure is your expertise.
Yeah, and mainly bridges, highways, but I've done everything.
Right.
We've worked on dams and bridges and railroads and airports and garbage systems, and we've done just about everything in the civil engineering arena, and then even got into the healthcare with hospitals and things of that nature.
Now you got a new initiative, Industrial Park.
That's right. This is so critical. It's something that came in my head. I've known it all along from my years of working here in the North Side, but I've always seen that the Chamber was pushing commercial properties up 24th and up 30th and across Ames.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the residents couldn't be customers that had purchasing power. So
Right.
I felt you got to look at the industry. You got everyone came to Omaha to work in the packing houses in the 50s and 60s. Packing houses are gone, so we got to get the people working back in industry. So light manufacturing, warehousing. We got a great site at we call Ames Locust. It actually is addressed at 12th and Locust, and then goes northward with a street to touch in at 16th and what is Commercial Avenue
Right.
or Ames. When we get that in place, we'll have 4 shovel-ready sites that we can begin to sell. with those that are looking to locate warehousing or light industry.
Right.
And then I can use Heartland Workforce Solutions that I put together to take care of those searching for jobs and get them the training and the background they need with Metro Community College, and we'll drop the unemployed into these job slots one by one by one. That's the strategy.
Well, you talked about new energy, and you have a re-energize program.
Re-energize, right.
That I actually got re-educated because the particular job I work at now is a nonprofit, and with the changing times, with money going down and hours going down, so
Yes.
you got to look for new jobs and different trainings. With the hopes of this industrial park, are you hoping that the green energy jobs innovation would take off, especially since Nebraska is like six in wind? I mean the power or the potential for that of us creating our own energy and then selling it to other states. I mean, don't we own OPPD? I mean, I want that kind of investment. But what's your vision on that?
Well, I think we're going to see more in the energy conservation area, and so people are going to be buying or wanting to hire contractors who are installing things that give them the efficiencies, whether it's in their homes or in their businesses or their commercial buildings. So there's still a market out there, I think, to make things, everything from insulation to the windmills that we see on the fans, the turbines that we see on the windmills. There's a whole potential out there that's still very much alive, and there's no reason why Omaha can't be competing for that here in the middle of the country.
I mean, the first time we interviewed, we talked, and we talked about what kind of mayor are you going to be? A mayor that just a mayor, or are you going to be a mayor that's going to be written in the history books?
Well, I don't know about that. Historians will figure that out.
Right.
But I am a very hands-on person. I like to get things done. And let's go back to my engineering. The reason I'm in engineering is I like to solve problems. And so I'm good in this political arena right now because we've had so much rhetoric and very little action. So we worked hard these last 4 years to bring real solutions to our city. And now we're starting to get a reputation by the public of getting things done. So you're going to see more about that aspect. And let's just stop and think about what I inherited in 2009. A city in chaos, a city in financial ruin. There was no plans for anything. We'd lost our AAA bond rating. Now look at where we are in February of 2013. We have stability in our finances, stability in revenues, stability in our spending. We are delivering services, and the people like it, and they're telling us about it every day. And now we have a plan in place on the $600 million pension shortfall in the fire police. That's working. We have a plan in place to take care of the mortgage on the CenturyLink, which nobody else had ever thought about doing. You got to pay the bill.
Right.
And but I think my legacy to the public right now as mayor is he put the financial house in order at City Hall, and we're keeping it there. And second, saving the city from this historic 104-day flood. We did not lose our city. We did not become a New Orleans with all the aftermath that they have felt with Katrina.
Right.
We saved our city, saved jobs, and millions, billions of dollars of assets, and 15,000 homes, if you stop and think about it, particularly with Carter Lake being in harm's way the entire time.
Yeah, that's a crucial time. The last 4 years, what are some of your highlights? Because everybody want to focus in on the negativity. What are some of your highlights of that you're proud of in regards to your administration?
Well, I think I just covered those, and I think what I want to do now is looking forward. Is we have things stable at City Hall so that it works financially. Now I can go look at the things that we need to do. In City Hall, we will continue to modernize our systems, gain the efficiencies, get more City Hall on the electronic age, get it on e-systems. But for the city, I want to focus on jobs, and jobs particularly in the north part of the city. We need all four quadrants of Omaha functioning equally in the economy, and we don't have that right now.
Right.
And so when you look at the census tracts, the fact that we have census tracts in North O with 12% unemployment, 15% unemployment, 20% unemployment, 25% unemployment and one census tract with 30% unemployment. This is inexcusable.
Right.
So if I can get my Ames Locust Industrial Tract working and get it in place by the end of the year, we will see the selling increase and we will see success in siting industry and warehousing. And I can begin to see those statistics go down in the unemployment rates for the north side. That's the number one goal that I have for the next 4 years.
Right. So right now you're hoping businesses come in and take up that space, create jobs for the local community.
Yes, but it doesn't just happen because you say it's going to happen. You have to go work it. And much of my career has been about cold calls and marketing and selling. And if I can have 4 industrial sites shovel ready, I'm going to have great things to sell when I go to Illinois or California or wherever else with a chamber to say, hey, you're ready to invest in a new manufacturing facility, come to Omaha. We've got the land ready, and we got great utility rates. We got great people ready to train and drop into the slots.
Right. What's your vision for entrepreneurship training opportunities? Because I know it's everyone always talk about the job spectrum, but you also need the creators. I mean the tax, any tax incentives for, especially for that park over there. If they hire a certain percentage of the community, if they get another tax incentive, so we encourage that especially people in the neighborhood get hired to those jobs.
Sure.
And that's the only way, really to decrease crime, and then that's the only way really to foster more businesses to come into the community because they're gonna feel safer.
Well, you brought up several things. One, I want to say what my grandmother said to me over and over again. She was a very religious woman, and I bet your mother or grandmother said it to you. Yeah. Idle hands are the devil's workshop. And if I heard that once, I heard it a billion times. And so I was always kept busy.
Right.
Now let's look at what happens in our city. If we've got people that are unemployed, they have idle hands.
Right.
If they're busy in a constructive job, they're earning income that's going to go in their pocket and get ready to pay their bills and begin to buy the things that they want for themselves and their families.
Right.
But it's also going to give an opportunity for those who want to seek and start their own business to begin to grow a little nest egg in a savings account to give them capital to match with a bank loan or small business loan to create the business that they want to own and operate. This is the American dream, the way it started and the way it's still alive today. So you'll see a lot of things happen here if we can begin to get the light industry and warehousing in place in North Omaha.
Well, in North Omaha, there's a lot of issues, and most of it is either economic related and comes to jobs. Also, you're dealing with the public work systems, as far as dealing with shut off notices and due to the lack of money in that realm. What got the infrastructure? What's your vision as far as bringing? We got the most rich people per capita around, but yet we're ranked the highest in poverty. What can we do? I know we got the certain groups out here, but what really can we do to really connect those voiceless people with those that have large or even vision when it comes to doing business, doing commerce on a Fortune 500 level, as well as on an individual level. How can we bring those people together? Because it seems like you've done that in your first 4 years, because no one has brought an industrial park here in North Omaha, and that's what I'm talking about, the history. What kind of mayor you're going to be on when you gone. He said, dang, he said, who did that? He said, well, Mayor Suttle did that. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm asking, what kind of mayor you going to that? And then that's the reason why I asked that, because that's very significant.
Well, let me answer your question this way. When I started with seeing how we could reactivate the airport industrial park and then double the size of it all the way down to Carter Lake Park, that's where we discovered this Ames Locust track there at 12th and Locust. And so we shifted our priorities around to make this the number one with an eye toward the rest of the properties that are in the airport industrial track area around Logier and Airlight Plastic. There's a total of 17 sites. 17. We're going to start with 4.
Okay.
So we get this going, and I truly believe that what I was faced with 3 years ago when I started this with the chamber is I couldn't quite get the philanthropic side of the community, those that you just mentioned, the Fortune 500 companies, to understand the wisdom of investing in industrial tracks in North O, East O, as opposed to putting it down I-80 toward Gretna and another county.
Right.
And the answer I got back, well, why would I spend $3.50 a square foot on land in the airport industrial park when I can go get a cornfield at $2.50? I said, well, wait a minute. If we start getting the problems of poverty under control, crime's going down. The social services are going down.
Right.
All of that has a value. Let's put that value, that savings, on that $3.50 number that you're talking about up at the airport industrial park. They finally understood that, and that's why we're now having the philanthropic money come forward to put new dollars, millions of dollars, in the Omaha Industrial Foundation to buy property in the airport industrial park as well as this Ames locus.
Cool.
So that's a start. That's
Right.
a start
Yeah,
to
without a doubt.
bring money in a constructive way to make an investment in the land, which then we can make an investment in the industry and warehousing. Then we can make an investment in the people by hiring them for the job slots.
Right.
It's a 1, 2, 3 step.
I'm going to shift into the environment. Lead, Omaha's one of the big super sites. Well, how's the cleanup been going?
I think that's been going very well. But the real thing here, and Senator Council had it right, we need to test all children. All children on a regular basis, not 30% of them or 50% of them or just those in certain geographies. We need to test all children for the lead content because children do move, families move, and we will be able to measure on a bigger scale the effectiveness of this mammoth billions and billions of dollars that's been spent for the lead cleanup. I think we're making great progress. I think we're going to see it in the quality of life for our children who will become those teenagers and young adults. We'll also see a reflection with other things we need to do on raising the graduation rates, raising the opportunities in education.
Right. And that kind of goes into my next question. City council, not the city council, the school board got to go for election again. We got a new superintendent. How do you feel about the educational climate, right at this moment right now? Since you the CEO of Omaha.
Well, I am the CEO of Omaha, but I have no statutory requirements for the education and a host of other things. But I do have the pulpit.
Right.
And I do have the leadership role as the mayor. And I think I need to be using that in a constructive way with our schools and with our transit system, with a host of other things, to make sure that we are pushing ourselves in the right direction and toward greater achievement. So we just had a meeting this morning. And this is the 4th meeting I've had. I'm the first mayor to ever assemble all the superintendents for our public schools, our Catholic schools, and some of our private schools together, just to talk. And we talk about ideas and things that we see through the mayor's office that will help us keep kids in school, but also begin to generate the future workers that we're going to need as this city grows. So that's what we talked about today. I'll give you an example. I learned in the last several weeks that we're not getting enough young people interested in diesel mechanics.
Right.
Well, we got some businesses here that are thriving on that and ready to have more growth if they can have the workers. So I think we got to go down to the 8th grade and begin to expose the 8th graders and find the aptitudes for those that have an interest in diesel mechanics in the 8th grade, and then grow that in the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and get them in Metro or the universities and get them on into that field. It'll be a great opportunity for those that are so interested. But you got to catch the 8th graders.
Right.
if you're going to do this.
Right.
So we're going to work on this some more as I get the superintendents back together with some of the industry here that need the diesel mechanics. Same with welders, same with
Right.
a host of other things. We'll include Metro Community College because they're a great place to learn technology components. And we're going to try and tie all this together and find the dollars to make sure we're driving it.
Transportation. That's one of the issues as far as employment and getting access to employment, from getting in North Omaha to getting access to jobs to West Omaha. What's the strategy in regard to your planning department in making that barrier less of a barrier? Because that right there can decrease, you probably could take off probably about half of that just by increasing transportation. What's your vision on that?
Well, we need to do an entire new makeover of our bus system, our transit system. We will finish a couple studies here in the May-June time frame that will help us then make policy decisions on the type of system that we need here for the future of our city. We need to be able to move people and move people quickly. Right now, it's disjointed. If you want to get from North Omaha to out to, say, Boys Town, it could be an hour and a half. It could be an hour and 20 minutes. That's unacceptable.
Right.
So we got to look at it more in the mobility and how we have the mobility based on time to get from point A to point B. And then we need to be running things 7 days a week, and maybe even more on a 24-hour basis. These are all questions that we don't have the answers to on how we're going to do it and how we're going to fund it. But the need is there. So it's out of that context. And you asking that question, because I ask it myself, that I said we need to flip where we're having the jobs. If we're putting all the jobs down toward Gretna or out toward Elkhorn and North O can't get there, then let's change it. Let's bring the jobs, the industry, back to North O, where we already have a bus system, and it puts the unemployed into jobs that are 5 or 10 minutes away from where they live.
Right.
That's what I see we need to be doing. That's why I'm so encouraged about this Ames locus and the strategy that my administration is working on right now to put North O to work.
I want to talk about some of the new initiatives that you like, the Re-Energize program that I went through. How did that program get started, and do you have visions to start other programming? I know Obama administration have a lot of money for new green jobs, and it seems like that's the future, especially since we six in the world with wind. Come on, man, we can't let all that wind go by.
That's right. So you keep thinking in that direction, because what you're doing is you add your thoughts to others, something will happen. But the Re-Energize program was an interesting concept that started with the Obama administration to get stimulus dollars out in a number of areas. This particular one happened to be, and how do we take older parts of the city and get those houses more efficient, so we can see up to 25 to 30, maybe 40% reduction in the cost of heating and cooling.
Right.
That was the goal. But second to that was to see if we can put together a cadre of small businesses, small contractors who would do these types of retrofits, thus generating jobs, small businesses, small-owned businesses, as well as getting the efficiencies for the homeowners. As we draw the program to a close, because it now is on plan and we're going to achieve the objectives we started with, we think, I want to find a way to continue this. So we are opening some discussions with OPPD and MUD to see if we can continue the program, but part of the utility company's thrust to get more efficiencies here in the city.
Okay, cool. What's the future for Mayor Suttle? I know 4 years. Are you gonna run for Senate? Everybody running for governor now. We need a new governor. We haven't had a Democratic governor. I don't know how long. What's the future after this? After you win this election, I know you plan on getting a W.
That's right.
Because
Big W.
Yeah, because all your works. So after you get the W, 4 more years. How old are you gonna be? You gonna be still at basketball age?
I'll still be 39.
Okay, all right, still at basketball age. So what's the future? Do you know yet, or have you planned, or?
Well, I set a plan a long time ago that I wanted to run for office, and I finally fulfilled the dream in 2004 when we talked to my employer, my wife, and my finance guy,
Right.
and we got it all put together so I could run for city council. But I actually had a 12-year plan then to serve 4 years on the city council and 8 years as mayor, and we started working it. And you know, how many times have you heard me say this? Plan the work and work the plan. That's
Right.
all we've been doing. So we're going to stay on that mode, that position, as we
Right.
get through the city elections here, April 2nd as well as May 14th, and then get into this second term. So let's just do that and go that far. And we need everybody out voting. This is your constitutional right. I
Right.
will work hard every day to make sure your constitutional right is there for you to exercise, but you got to do your part by going to vote. If I'm doing my part to make sure you have the opportunity with no barriers
Right.
to vote.
Now we did have a lot of chaos the last election. Is it going to be a lot easier this election? I mean, if I want to go for Mayor Suttle, I won't have no problems. I'll know where I need to go.
I hope so, but I want to tell you, I really am very angry and upset that we have certain people in this country who are working hard to keep other citizens from voting.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's part of a national strategy by certain political party to make sure that those who they don't want voting are disenfranchised from voting. And that's why I said I'm going to work hard to make sure that doesn't happen. So the best way to beat these characters, these nefarious characters,
Mm-hmm.
from keeping people of color and seniors from voting is to find a way to network with one another through the churches and through other means to get the polls and vote, and we'll outmaneuver them.
Right. And I think it's even beyond color, because when you're poor, it affects poor people.
That's right.
And there's all people that's tied up in poor, no matter what you look like.
That's right.
So, Mayor, is there anything else that you want to talk about? Because everybody always be on the mayor, and but you got the mic, man. You got the mic because, like I said, you was my first guest, so I'm very, very humble for you coming to my house.
Absolutely.
Into my basement.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I said, this is the mayor. He come to my basement. Get on the air. So, I mean, what people don't know about Mayor Soto that,
Well,
I mean,
I'm a people guy. I
Right.
campaigned to be the people's mayor. And part of the reason that some of the more wealthy in the community are not, let's say, good supporters or strong supporters, I found out is the word control. They want to control City Hall. They want to control the mayor.
Mhm.
And that's a comment I was getting feedback on in 2008. We can't control Jim Suttle.
Right.
Well, why do you have to control me? I'm a wild Mustang who likes to get things done. Let me
Right.
kick my heels up. Let me grab a hold of these problems, which I'm trained to do, and
Right.
get them solved one by one. I'll deliver a better city if you let me just have the freedom to solve problems, make things better for people,
Mhm.
promote jobs, promote safety in our neighborhoods, and really make sure that everybody has a smile on their face because they got a job, they got recreation, they got a strong family, they got a strong church or synagogue, and we have a great life here. Let's just continue. So why do you have to control me?
Right. Hey, man, God give us free will for everybody out there. And if God give you free will, then you better leave everything else alone.
Well, that's right. And I truly believe I am the people's mayor, and I will represent the people to the best of my abilities. I do listen,
Mhm.
and particularly when it comes to the north side. I've worked all my life here.
Mhm.
I've been here 42 years. I've had projects as an engineer. I've had my time as public works director, had my time in the community service as I've belonged and on boards in many, many different organizations. And now I'm mayor, and I enjoy the interaction that I have and just trying to make every day better for every person in this city.
I don't want to let you go. Time frame on Industrial Park.
Okay,
When is it gonna be
we still have some things coming up. We still need a 7-0 vote out of the city council in 2 weeks with this ordinance of necessity.
done? Okay.
The ordinance of necessity says it is in the public's best interest that the city of Omaha buy or condemn this 70 acres and get control of it for a greater good. That greater good is 4 industrial sites to put in warehousing and light industry and put North Omaha to work. That's the greater good.
Right.
So we still need people sending the emails in, making the calls, making sure all 7 of those council members, nobody's playing games here. This is
Right.
not the time for politics. This is time for helping our city.
Right.
We need a 7-0 vote out of the city council, just as we got some 3 weeks ago on the first step.
Mm-hmm.
Once that's done, we are continuing a negotiation strategy. We had a discussion yesterday about how we're going to negotiate with the owner of the property and what we're going to put out as some new offers.
Right.
And so that's all coming together, and we will continue to press that. And if we have to go to the court, we will probably sometime in May. And then we're going to get control of the land, and we're going to get the site cleared, get the environmental cleanups there, and then start building the streets and sewers and the telecommunications.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready to sell. Sell 4 sites.
Yeah. All right. That sounds good. That sounds good.
I'm hoping that we will have things really ready in this by the end of the year or early next year,
Cool.
with everything done and in place. And all you got to do is go out there and stick a shovel in the ground, and you're ready to dig foundations for buildings.
That's your major project. That's just year 1.
Well, and
of your second term.
Well, that is year 1.
I mean, we got
In
2,
2015,
3, 4.
I want to do the same thing at 26 and Martha.
Okay.
Tear down that old Salvation Army warehouse. There's 16 acres in there. We can
Right.
put into 2 8-acre tracts and begin to do the same thing.
Cool. All right.
Then come back to the rest of the airport industrial tract. We still got more areas there next to Lozier, Airlight Plastics. Get those areas into packages as well. So
Cool. Well, you got a good vision. Are we gonna build another building like maybe 100 stories high or anything like that?
Well, I still would like to get the financing straightened away on the Wall Street Tower and do a 32-story building there. But right now, we got to get the land in the hands of a new investor, get rid of the debt on there, which is about $14 million. And that means they got to sell it at a loss and get it in the hands of a new investor. And then we can really start talking serious business about a 32-story office building downtown.
Well, I am a nonprofit, so they could donate it to me.
Well,
and then
I think right now you would not want it.
and I can write it off or something. I can do something with it. Anything else that you want to talk about, Mary, before you get out of here?
No, I really want to go back and emphasize the importance of voting. That is your constitutional right. And we have seen too much in the last 5 years of certain people trying to keep other people from voting. Don't let that happen.
Right.
Answer the call. Get that ballot if you want one in the mail. Get it filled out and back in. Get to the polls. If you need transportation help, talk to your minister. Talk to somebody. We'll get you picked up, get you to the polls. I don't care where you live in the city, and I don't care who you're voting for. It is your constitutional right. And great countries have failed more often from within, strife from within, than from external forces. So if we don't get rid of the voter apathy, get good candidates to run for office, and get people out voting, we may lose our country. I don't want that to happen, and I know you don't either.
Right.
So let's really do our part on Election Day and vote for the candidates who are going to help our city move forward, our school board move forward, and let's get a lot of things accomplished to continue a great quality of life for all 4 quadrants of this city.
How can people get involved with your campaign?
Very simply, just get on the website at mayorsuttle.com. If you don't have access to a computer, call our office, and that number is 402-933-0500. 0500.
And that voice was Raph in the background. He was coordinating everything together, man. He put the glue together, and we finally here. We made it. We accomplished it. Mary, I always had I always have a good time. I just want to stay strictly on the issues because the issues is on how we're going to move our city forward. Before you get out of here, I would be they're gonna get on me if I didn't ask about the coal plant. What and the EPA ruling as far as trying to get everybody to move into green initiative, which you already started with the Energize program. Well, any opinion on that as far as them cleaning that? Because as far as our knowledge, is one of the dirtiest in the country, and we got a lot of kids. I know you love the kids, and we got the water treatment facility right north of there. And what's your opinion on that, or have you that even been in the discussion?
Well, a lot of this is tied up in certainly in the federal regulations and in what the Congress is discussing about these credits and other things that are necessary to look at how we clean up industry. But a lot of the air pollution, and let's face it, Omaha is on the edge of being a non-attainment area. If we're
No,
not
what
careful,
does that mean?
What that means is that we got dirty air.
We got dirty air.
We're dirty air, and we have to clean it up.
Right.
And we have to clean it up as a city. But a lot of the focus, if you look at Omaha and other places, is on the heavy generators of this. So it's coal-fired power plants, it's cement plants, it's some types of heavy industry, although we don't have that here. But those are the ones that Congress has to finish that debate on and find the right policy with industry on how we're going to keep our air clean and thus our environment clean.
Right. So are you an environmentalist?
I am an environmentalist.
So you like hunt? You like fishing?
Well, I'm not a fisherman nor a hunter.
But you eat fish though,
but
right?
I do like to chase golf balls.
You do? But you like eating fish though, right?
I like to eat fish, which is what I'm going to have tonight when I get home.
Right.
So.
And I know you want no fish with no mercury in it. I'm glad that you're on the side of clean air, because I know you got young people. You got grandkids?
I got 5.
Man.
5. Age 2 to 14.
Oh, so I know they're keeping you young for
Oh,
sure.
Yeah.
Now, what's the other side? What's your family like? You know, everybody want to talk about the politics. Your family's good? Everybody healthy?
Oh, yeah. Everybody's good and healthy, and I've got 2 daughters and 5 grandkids, and I grew up in a working-class family. My mom was a bookkeeper for a car dealer. My dad was a barber, a union barber, and so I grew up, and we had our poor moments. I slept on the couch until the 3rd grade because we only had enough money for one bed.
Right.
That was for my mom and dad and sister, so I had the couch.
Right.
Until we got enough money to afford a nicer place, 2nd bedroom, and we had a bed for me. So.
Right.
So I'm first person in my family to graduate from college.
Okay.
So I have 2 degrees in engineering. My mom and dad worked very, very hard to make sure that my sisters and I had the college education so we could have higher plateau in life. And so it was a great experience, and I enjoyed my childhood very much.
Right. I got the same kind of story. I'm the first to get a college degree. My mom can't read. I still read for my mom, but she made sure that education was highly in our household. I rarely missed school, without a doubt. So I talk about my mom a great deal.
Well, you had somebody that pushed you, just like I had somebody that pushed me. So,
Mayor Suttle, Omaha, Nebraska. You've been listening to our mayor. You know what I mean? You got to hear the other side. You know,
that's right.
You know, still everybody point fingers and
side?
crying and blaming and all that stuff. But I know you got a hard job. You know, the CEO always get the finger pointed at it. So I know you got thick skin. We appreciate your thick skin because I know it's coming at you from left and right. But we appreciate you. Appreciate your time, and then also I appreciate your vision because, like I said, I wanted you to be the mayor that they talk about and write in the history book. I was at somewhere and I seen a book on A.V. Swanson.
Oh, sure. It's great reading.
Yeah, and it had Ernie Chambers in there. I said Ernie Chambers. He been around every mayor.
That's right. So young Ernie Chambers.
Right. So now you guys gonna be in the same books also when your autobiography is written. So keep doing what you're doing. Year 1, industrial parks around. Year 2, expanding that. I don't know what year 3 and 4 is gonna look like.
Well, we got more to do at that airport. If we're gonna do those 17 sites and we do 4 a year. You do the math. That'll take us a while, but we got the potential to do it. Now we've got the ear of the Chamber of Commerce, and we got the ear of the larger corporations here on the importance of capitalizing that airport industrial foundation so we can buy the land, get them ready for the sites that we need for growing industry.
So you feel good this next 4 years?
Oh, absolutely. Very confident, very good. And I will pay attention to the eastern half of our city. As I said, I want all quadrants of the city to function equally in the economy.
Right. Well, Mayor, we appreciate that. We got it on record.
Yes, you do.
That he's working for all of us.
That's a fact, Jack.
Heck yeah. Mayor Suttle, Omaha, we appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm